don't care. I just don't care anymore. These things don't bother me.
All right, well then we'll start now then. We'll begin.
Did you hear the starter pistol?
Detective Lieutenant Police Squad, a special division of the police force. I just come from the stockyards. We've gotten reports that hundreds of cows had been senselessly slaughtered in the area, but I couldn't find any evidence. I stopped off for a hamburger and checked in with headquarters.
Hello and welcome to Has to Be an Icon. I'm Jared Jones and I'm joined by Donna Cameron. How are you today?
I'm great. You're under arrest.
Whoa. Because we're doing some crime comedy.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not a podcast about like a murder mushroom lady or anything like that. This is a fun podcast that's not...
I keep hearing things about this and I've actually not looked into it.
Well, you know, it's one to look out for.
That feels like a thing that I'm going to love every single detail because I've seen the picture of the woman.
I just think there's going to be a million and one like documentaries and
podcasts,
Hey Murder Muffins and all that sort of stuff. Please, if you haven't already, give us a follow on your podcast platform of choice, whether that be Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you want to as well, you can follow us on Instagram and we're on YouTube and X as well. And also feel free to subscribe to our Patreon. We have a bunch of fun stuff going on there, including the post show to this show where we sort of do a bit of a loose unwind and talk a little bit about
we take our shoes off and lean back and
have a little
rub a bit of moisturizer on our faces.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a very, very fun one.
It's like braiding hair with the girls.
It really is. It's like hanging out with your best girly friends. Today we are doing comedic icon is Leslie Nielsen.
I'm so excited about this one. It's a fun one.
It is a fun one. What do you know of Leslie Nielsen or what you know anything about him?
So I've seen Airplane.
Yep.
I've seen Airplane many, many times.
Mm-hmm.
It has one of my favorite jokes in it.
Which is?
I can translate jive.
It's a good one.
And don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley. Obviously, yeah.
I, for a really long time, especially when I was younger, got him confused with Mel Brooks. Frequently.
I can see that. You know, they are like very, very big into, you know, parody movie and things like that. So
they were both in comedy and they both have grey hair. And
yeah.
Beyond that, I have face blindness.
Always looked old, you know? Always looked ancient.
Been old, yeah. There's a lot of like British TV presenters that have that about them that you go, you've always been like 65.
Yeah, how have you always been 65?
Betty White, my entire life has been an old lady.
Mary Berry is another one who like... She has been like absolutely like ancient for the longest time. I remember my dad saying of being like, she looked like that back when I was a child watching television and she was on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Leslie Nielsen. Obviously, the latest Naked Gun movie is coming out in the next couple of weeks, starring Liam Neeson.
Which is so fun. Was he casted because the name is just similar enough?
I just think it's the thing of, and I suppose it's a little bit different. We'll get into about Leslie Nielsen. But Liam Neeson is obviously quite a serious actor. And he has done comedy stuff before in the past, but it's like he is mostly pretty straight, which is kind of the same thing that happened with Leslie Nielsen of like he was quite a, you know, actor and then ended up doing comedy. Mm-hmm. So I think there might be a little bit of that. But also I just think it's very funny that they are that Liam Neeson is supposed to be Leslie Nielsen's son.
It's a great joke. It's a really good joke. It really got me because it's one that you look at and go, wait, am I in?
Yeah.
No. Nice.
But before we get into anything, of course, we have to ask the question, what is Leslie Nielsen's favourite drink?
Did he have his own brand of canned cocktail?
Not quite.
What about a CBD beverage?
No CBD beverages.
No
non-alcoholic beer. No, none of that.
No kombucha, not a kefir? Like yogurt stuff?
Yeah. No, none of that. But yeah, what do you think his favourite drink was?
Looking at the face of that man, I'm going to say some sort of scotch on the rocks.
I think that's probably a good shout. Unfortunately, I couldn't find anything to back that up. However, there is a series of commercials that Leslie Nielsen did in the UK for Red Rock cider, a cider that no longer exists.
Okay.
This is Red Rock.
You see, it's less gassy with no strong aftertaste. It's a different kind of cider altogether.
It's less gassy with no strong aftertaste. It's a different kind of cider.
Booker, Al.
So, tell me about Red Rock cider. Where are we sitting on the hierarchy of UK ciders?
So it is. I looked it up. There's very little information out there, but it's produced by the Taunton Cider Company.
Oh, Taunton.
Yes, and it picked up popularity in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And it came from Somerset.
As all ciders do.
Yeah. It was re-registered by the cider enthusiasts in 2015 and began production again in 2016. However, no longer available on the market, I'm afraid.
Is it like a Strongbow, a Bulmers? Where are we sitting with it? Like,
it's kind of, I think, more on the like sort of Strongbow end of things.
Okay.
The thing of
not your Frosty Jacks.
The thing of the ads was that it was less gassy and less of a weird aftertaste was like the thing that they like really promoted in the ads. With
you
Leslie
can drink
Nielsen.
way more of it and it'll make you feel less weird.
Yeah, and it's basically again Leslie Nielsen just doing Frank Drebin, but like just in ad form. They're quite charming little ads, really.
God, the thought of that much cider really is like a...
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, let's just jump into it. Born the 11th of February, 1926. Thank you very much. Beautiful. We're going to have a lot of this.
I'm going to introduce this now because Jared, just before we started, told me about this.
Yeah. Normally we start at the start, but Leslie Nielsen would often use a fart machine whilst in interviews with people. And I told Donna about this, and she thought it'd be really funny to have her own fart machine. So, thank you. That's really good highbrow stuff. Please subscribe.
Listener, understand, he didn't have to tell me how to connect it on Bluetooth.
I didn't have to do that, and I immediately regret such things.
I do apologize for interrupting you right at the beginning.
Yeah,
I just saw it, and
you couldn't resist.
I genuinely couldn't. It's really my Green Goblin mask.
Yeah.
For the record, don't think farts are funny. I think fart sounds are funny.
Fake farts are funny, yeah.
Fake farts are hilarious. Real farts are disgusting.
That's correct.
Now, Jared, stop stalling. Begin the episode.
Born the 11th of February 1926 in Saskatchewan, Canada. He's Canadian, which I did not know.
Oh, don't you know?
Don't you know, eh?
Hey.
To parent Mabel Elizabeth, who was originally emigrated from Wales, and Iverson Nielsen, who was a constable in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. That's right. He was a Mountie.
Whoa! Just like the Monty Python sketch.
Which one's that?
Where they're Mounties.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? That's the thing of like most Monty Python bits. You go, the one where they're a Mountie. I'm like, sure, all right,
I think it alludes to them kissing dudes.
I mean, it makes sense.
Mounties are like intense, though, I think. They're just like the FBI, but on horses.
Well, yeah, we'll get a little bit more.
Our one Canadian listener, can you please correct us on this when you hear it? I'm sure you will.
But also fun thing about Leslie Nielsen, his brother, Eric Nielsen, served as a Canadian Member of Parliament and was even Deputy Prime Minister from 1984 to 1986. So...
great stuff.
I know. That's a real fun one. His dad...
Canadian Prime Minister, right? No,
not a real country. No. Nothing. Not one that matters, no.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But yeah, Leslie would have a bit of a troubled home life. His dad was quite abusive. He would often beat his sons and his wife. So Leslie wanted to leave and had the opportunity in 1943. When age 17, he would enlist to join the Royal Canadian Air Force and trained to be an aerial gunner.
Damn.
This was despite the fact that Leslie Nielsen he put it himself as legally considered to be deaf.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I did a bit of digging on this because there's a few places that sound like, yeah, he's deaf. He had... most of his life, he had quite bad hearing loss.
Okay.
So he could still hear, but he wore hearing aids for most of his
life. But at
life.
a very low level,
Yeah, very low level. So yeah.
That that is that common misconception, I think, that a lot of people have, that deafness is that you don't hear anything.
Yes.
And it's quite on a scale.
Yeah, so he would wear hearing aids for most of his life. He wasn't like completely, totally deaf or anything like that. While he trained as an aerial gunner, he would not be deployed to serve overseas and was discharged shortly after the Second World War. So he would have a brief time where he would be a radio presenter in Calgary. This was after the war. And through this, ended up joining the Lorne Green Academy of Radio Arts in Toronto. While studying there, Leslie would receive a scholarship for the New York City Neighborhood Playhouse School of Theatre, whose alumni include Grace Kelly, Christopher Lloyd, and Jeff Goldblum. So, you know, quite a...
Oh, who's the sexiest out of those three?
It's got to be Jeff, surely, you know?
I was going to say Gene Kelly.
But it's Grace Kelly.
Oh, then yeah. That was a real, like, I heard you say it, and my brain went, no.
No. You have face blindness and you have name blindness.
Jeff Goldblum, eh?
Jeff Goldblum. He's a sexy man, though.
Oh, my God.
That
Have you ever
chest
seen
hair?
anyone walk up to a pile of dinosaur feces in such a
seductive manner?
Oh.
Anyway, back to Leslie Nielsen, the person who this episode's on, not Jeff Goldblum. In 1950, Leslie would get his start in his first TV show, which was Studio One, which ran from 1948 to 1958. It was only an episode that he was in, and he starred alongside Charlton Heston for
Out of my cold, dead hands.
You damn dirty apes. Yes. Leslie would receive $75 for his role, which is around £1,000 or $1,000 in today's money.
Oh, is that like a decent fee for an actor? I actually don't know what actors... I thought they just got given bags of corn to live on.
Yeah.
Like...
I think it's probably like, you know, I don't know how much of it he was in the episode, so that could be like, he was the main person. It was more of like an anthology series, so there's a good chance that he was doing quite a lot of stuff for it. But Leslie would continue to act in several TV shows. Back then, it was dubbed the golden age of television. Most of the shows that were filmed would be filmed live. So it would sort of just be a live broadcast production, almost like a kind of theatre piece that would be being filmed. So Nielsen would star in 46 live television productions, but this was towards the end of the golden age of television. One of the big differences, which I read up about this because I was quite interested, was that the thing that really sort of changed, like the big thing that would change of back then, sort of in the 50s and so on, and before then, your television program would be sponsored by one thing.
Yes.
So it would be like, smoke Marlboro cigarettes.
They're good for you.
Yeah, the characters smoke them and you will too. And
they're delicious and they make you sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then going forward, sort of after the golden age of television is when you get in what we would know now today as ad blocks. So your program may be sponsored, but you'd have ads in between
those to then prop it up.
Yeah.
Another really fun thing, actually, to plug our own show.
Yeah.
This will have been kind of all of that era of television that informs all of RuPaul's kind of performances.
Yes.
So there's a real good chance that he was watching all of this.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff.
Listen to last week's episode.
Yes, please do. It's a really good one. But moving on from our brief history lesson of American TV culture, Leslie Nielsen, who the show is actually about, was working about doing TV shows. He was doing commercials. He was doing a lot of voiceover work because he has got a great voice.
Oh, he's got an amazing voice.
Yeah. He does some Broadway work and ends up landing a role in his first movie, which is a musical called The Vagabond King from 1956.
That's an adaptation of a old Broadway show, I think.
Yes. The movie was not well received. And
yeah, because who's ever heard of The Vagabond King? You know, I am poor and I've got a king. That's not a song from it.
Is it not? I thought you were really hitting me with some like...
Imagine if I just was like, oh, I love The Vagabond King. Fun fact, actually. I feel like you'd give up on me.
I'd be very intrigued to be like, you've never brought this up that you're...
No, that's a real secret one. That's like how much I love the Broadway version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde with David Hasselhoff.
That's fantastic.
That's between me and God.
Yeah. Yeah, but Nielsen would end up calling the movie The Vagabond Turkey because it did not... But he would end up getting... more substantial film roles. He was the leading role in The Forbidden Planet, 1956, which he was praised for. He was quite a handsome man, so he was like quite a heartthrob lead. This was, back in the 50s, and he has a real 50s man look about him.
He really does. I was looking for some pictures for our Instagram follow.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of like shirtless ones.
Yeah,
that I was trying to figure out if it was him or not, and I think it is, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so he, he's kind of like a bit of a heartthrob, bit of a like, this guy, look at him, wow. And he got a lot of praise for his role in The Forbidden Planet. On a budget of around $2 million, it ended up grossing $3 million, which is quite a success. And so because of this, he ended up doing an extended contract with MGM and would make several more movies for them. This was again back in the day of the star contract era, which is sort of where it's starting to phase out a little bit. You got it a bit more of it in the 60s, and then by the time you get into the 70s is when you're sort of changing over.
Being a bit more freelance, but here you're still pretty much locked into a studio.
Yes, yeah.
You're not in those like insane contracts that you were in the 40s.
No.
You're like, we own you.
Yes, no, it's not quite like that. We're sort of moving away from that. So he did a couple of movies with MGM, but he didn't really find too much success there. He was he felt a bit pigeonholed as like, nice man. He wasn't really given much to like work with.
There's only so much you can do with man.
Exactly. And he ended up leaving after he auditioned for Ben-Hur in 1959 and was rejected. So that was kind of him saying, well, I'm sort of done with this.
Imagine a version of reality where he is in Ben-Hur
and
also in Aeroplane. Because that's great. That would encourage many more people to watch Ben-Hur, because Ben-Hur is a film my mum puts on to clean the house too.
I find it so interesting your mum puts on puts on movies to clean the house. I find that really interesting. Because she puts on Evita to do decorating, isn't that right?
Yeah. Several times growing up when she would paint the house, Evita would come on at some point.
I find that...
And she'd be in a completely different room. She just wanted to sing along to it.
I find that fascinating.
And now as an adult, I do the same thing with certain tasks.
Yeah, but you just put on Below Decks and then watch a bit of it, go cook dinner, and then come back and rewind back so you can watch the stuff that you missed.
There is... No, when I do like my Christmas cooking, I'll stick the Phantom of the Opera on while I'm...
That is fun.
Back to the show. So
after this, Leslie would go back to television. He ends up making a couple of TV shows. I've written down some of them that include The Swamp Fox.
Is that Maya Bush character?
Yeah, I thought that. Apparently, I was reading up about The Swamp Fox because, it was made by Disney and it was quite a high cost production.
Yeah.
There was a lot of shooting. It was like prestige television before prestige television.
Swamp Fox.
Swamp Fox, yeah.
Sorry, I need to.
Yeah, you want to look up Swamp Fox?
Yeah, you want
to. He was also in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Beautiful.
That's a Swamp Fox for you.
Thank you.
You thought I'd forgotten.
No. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea from 1964 to 1968, and Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which is sort of a bit of a Twilight Zone-esque anthology type series, which is really fun. A fun fact about that was that Psycho obviously was meant to be a film, but they were like, I don't know if this is going to work, and they really toyed with the idea of making it as a 2-part special of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, but he was like, no, we're going to have it as a movie. So
y'all going to be so disappointed.
Go on.
Because Swamp Fox is about the American Revolutionary War.
Yeah,
it's about a general.
Yeah, it is.
I was really expecting a
monster fox type situation.
Yeah. There's another Disney production around this time about a large dog.
Yes, there is.
It clearly cuts between a dog and a man in a suit.
Yeah,
because dogs' knees don't bend that way.
But
he's doing a lot of these calling them little roles is patronizing. It's unfair, but it's work.
Yeah, it's work,
but it's not work.
Yeah, no, he is really doing smaller-esque productions, because he's having trouble finding his place in kind of the film world. So he's going from place to place. We're getting into the 70s, and we are heading into a big, massive trend in theatre and film, which is the disaster movie.
Yeah.
So disaster movies did not start in the 70s. There's a bit of a misconception that people were like, oh, there was that's when they started, but disaster films have always been around, but they had a massive explosion in the 1970s. The earliest example of a disaster film was from 1901 with the movie Fire, which is a British short film about a family being stuck in a house that's burning down.
Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
You could have told me the title,
Yeah.
and I could have guessed that was the plot.
I've got a list of titles of
give
disaster.
it to me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, a list of disaster movies from the 1970s. We've got Heat Wave, Hurricane, Fire, Flood, Airport.
Oh, no. The thing about getting in right at the beginning is all of the titles it's like early websites.
Yes. Yeah,
You just managed to get in with like boobs.com.
Yeah.
You know, you got in with Heatwave, Hurricane,
Yeah, just really just like to the point.
Snowstorm.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause now we have to be like,
The day after tomorrow. It's like, what does that mean?
imagine if things got worse.
Yeah. But no, disaster movies really took off in the 1970s for a few factors. One, there was an advance in film technology, so it was just sort of easier to be able to film these sort of things.
Yeah.
And the other big one is sort of social change, fear around like things like nuclear war and things like that, and being able to.
I was thinking that there's a lot of tension
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on politically. You're right in the middle of Vietnam.
It's fighting an unknown thing that you can't really like fight against. You know, that's kind of the thing of it.
And really fascinating,
Yeah.
we can see this later on. There's a big uptick in disaster movies after 9/11.
There is, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this happens all the time.
Like I say, the day after tomorrow and stuff. We also had a big in the 90s as well, but that was more because of the 20-year cycle.
Yes.
And they were coming back into fashion where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you got Volcano and Dante's Peak.
They shoot the lava.
They shoot the lava and grandma melts in that in that lake. So Leslie Nielsen would get a role in The Poseidon Adventure, 1972, which he'd star alongside Gene Wilder. And it was a super success. So because of this, Nielsen would end up starring in a bunch of like other disaster movies, including Cities on Fire, which is 1979. You know, they kind of carry on throughout the decade. But then we hit 1980, where the peak of the disaster movie has kind of bottoms out.
Yeah.
Very similar to how Austin Powers killed the Pierce Brosnan James Bond movies.
Really?
Yes, because a parody comes out called Airplane, and that completely takes the
wind out of it.
the wind out of it. Like I say,
it's no longer because now we're making fun of it.
yeah,
It's no
exactly, and that's exactly what happened with Austin
interesting.
Powers and James Bond was that they went, well, this is people don't take us serious anymore, and that's why you get rid of Die Another Day,
Yeah.
with
Analyze this.
and stupid massive tidal waves and invisible cars, and then
Guy with diamonds in his face.
guy
Yeah.
diamond in his face,
Oh.
and then moving forward, it's like super gritty, punching people and drowning them in
Wow,
sinks and
I
stuff.
can't believe that Shagadelic
Yeah,
really
yeah.
killed.
Yeah, killed that like classic Bond run. And Airplane very much did the same for the disaster movie trend. The story that came around was that obviously the Zuckers, David and Jerry, and Jim Abrams, who were the people who made a lot of the like parody movies, they were watching a 1950s disaster movie called 0 Hour in 1957, and it was supposed to be very, very serious, but they just found it funny. They were like, "This is ridiculous! Like, why would the characters do any of this sort of stuff?" And then they went, "Well, we could just remake that movie and just take the piss." Like that was
that's so fun. Because I guess the other thing is with a lot of those like 50s, 60s, 40s, especially earlier scripts, people are blasting them out.
Yeah.
People are on drugs
yeah.
that you can't even get anymore.
Yeah.
And they are cranking them out.
Yeah,
and they
they
are sometimes like nonsense.
Yes.
They are like nonsensical.
Yeah, I think
And sometimes they're great.
yeah. I think
And that's more of a roll of the dice than anything else.
I think the plot of 0 Hour is like incredibly similar to Airplane, like to the
that's
point.
so funny.
But they make the very genuinely super smart decision of they get a bunch of actors who are in disaster movies to be in the parody film, which is something that we just do not do anymore. I mean, we don't really do parody movies anymore anyway. But when we do, we don't.
No, because
particularly...
like Epic Movie and stuff like that absolutely just killed it in the 2000s.
Yeah, but it's like we don't actually put people who would be in those kind of movies
In those movies
as like a parody.
I guess we had the Expendables, but that was just kind of a circle jerk.
Yeah, and it wasn't really parody. It was more just like, oh, these.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are any of the people in Scary Movie horror actors?
Not really. No,
No, they're not.
They're
Are they?
not. No. It's not really a thing that we never really went back to that, and I think that's why like Airplane stands like so head and shoulders above the rest of like this sort of parody genre stuff. And the other thing as well is that they made the actors play it completely straight.
I was going to talk about this.
This is the thing that I think why it works so well and why Leslie Nielsen's so great in that movie is because he plays that character, Dr. Rimac, super, super like deadpan straight. And it's so good because of it. It's such a smart decision.
It's a little bit of... It's almost the same logic that the Muppets operate under, that no one ever questions that they're Muppets.
Yes.
It's that he never questions that this is stupid.
Yes.
That the things that people are saying are stupid. You just respond to them like they are real statements.
Yeah.
And he is so good.
He is incredible.
No one winks at the camera. No
No.
one's like mugging. There's none of that. There's no like... I won't go too into this, but there's none of that like Joss Whedon smugness.
No.
About it. No one's going, what I'm saying is so funny. It's that you're actually saying some of the dumbest stuff possible with such sincere conviction.
Yeah.
And that's why it's funny.
Yeah. Obviously, you know, the line, you said it earlier, but surely you can't be serious. I am. Don't call me Shirley. Nielsen would say, I thought it was amusing, but it never occurred to me that it was going to be a trademark. It's such a surprise. But this is absolutely insane, right? It was a huge success. On the budget of $3.5 million, the movie grossed $171 million.
Oh!
It's
My God.
right?
I had to move away from the mic. I was scared that it was too loud.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. The American Film Institute included the film in its top 10 list of funniest comedies of all time in 2008. And in 2007, a UK survey found that Airplane was voted the second funniest movie of all time.
What was the first?
Would you like to hazard a guess? Think British.
I was going to say, is it Monty Python?
It is Monty Python, The Life of Brian.
And The Life of Brian, yeah.
I think Airplane's better. There, I said it.
Oh, don't. John Cleese is going to come in and fight you.
Look.
He's got Lily Allen's number, probably.
Look, all I'm going to say on Monty Python is that Family Guy made the point that I think is absolutely hilarious, that they go, you know, we've locked Meg in the basement where she's watching 80% of Monty Python that is neither memorable nor funny.
You're not wrong. Some of it is quite unwatchable now.
But following the success, obviously it was a huge, huge movie, but Nielsen is not the main character. He's kind of a side character in it. So he goes back.
He definitely steals the show,
He
I
absolutely
think.
100% does, yeah. Absolutely. But he ends up going back to TV to make the TV show Police Squad 1982.
Oh, I can hear the theme tune, and I feel like I say this every episode, but I listened to it while I was in Home Bargains.
Where he would play Officer Frank Drebin. The role landed him an Emmy nomination, but the show would only run for 6 episodes. He said it's because that you had to pay attention to watch it. It's like, it doesn't really work in that like sort of era of television that they're in, where it's like there are jokes every single second and you can't go back and watch it at any point. Like if you miss a joke,
then it's gone.
then it's gone. And so there are many jokes in there that people just like completely overlooked.
This could be a incorrect. Is it where we're still having that transition from radio to TV for a lot of people? And it's not necessarily second screen, but we're watching it on a tiny little screen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of that. I mean, I guess...
And it's also quite, like you said, you really have to pay attention.
So I think the closest thing that I could compare it to is Arrested Development, which was a show from the early 2000s with Michael Cera and Jason Bateman. And they found a very similar thing of, it was very successful with critics. People, like, they absolutely loved it, but audiences didn't get on board because there were so many jokes. And there are so many jokes that you miss. And because you couldn't go back and watch it super easily back then, it's just sort of like people will go, I don't really sort of get this. And
You're
stuff.
almost like overwhelmed by it
Yeah.
a little bit. Yeah. And you don't have the chance to watch it again in 6 months and go, oh, I missed that before.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like one of the jokes from Arrested Development is one of the characters' mothers is called Lucille.
Mm-hmm.
And he then goes swimming in the ocean, a thing that he's banned from doing, and he gets his hand bitten off by a loose seal. A seal bites his hand off. And so the people are going, watch out for Lucille. And he's like, I don't care about Lucille.
And that is like a police squad level joke. Yeah.
So yeah, they only made 6 episodes of it, but it would find so much more of an audience and a cult following through the rise in home entertainment. So we're getting VHSs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's on the rise. So people are like renting it and renting it again and again and again. Because,
And going, oh, do you know this is actually really funny? Because when you sit through it,
you can sit back and you can watch it again and you can see jokes that you didn't see the first time.
Interesting. That's almost the opposite of the Family Guy thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Where it really makes you sit in it and then they give you a joke that you go, damn it.
Yeah. So this led 6 years later, they made the movie The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad in 1988, which like that is inconceivable to me that in
2025,
yeah,
the thought of
a studio making a thing that didn't work and not just binning it immediately, coming back to it 6 years later and being like, oh, actually, we've got something here. And again, it works better as a movie because, again, back then, you could just go and watch the movie again. So the jokes that you missed the first time, you could see it again, and then when it come out on VCR.
And it's kind of more profitable that way anyway, because you have repeat cinema visits, which tops up all the other things.
Yeah.
It's almost like there was a point in history where, despite the fact executives have always been evil, they sort of cared about some level of creative integrity.
Yeah, and artistry.
But who knows?
Yeah, no, the movie would, star Leslie Nielsen reprising his role as Frank Drebin and also star Face of Hertz Rent-A-Car and future murderer O.J. Simpson.
So I was going to let you bring it up. I somehow forget he's in those every time. And every time I'm like, oh shit, it's OJ.
We did watch the second Naked Gun movie yesterday, and you were like, and you're like, he's not a very good actor, is he? I don't know why they hired him for this. And it's like, they didn't hire him for his acting prowess.
They hired him because he's OJ.
Because he's O.J. Simpson.
It's genuinely so distracting. I think the problem is it's really hard to watch something when you go 2 years later. You were involved in a double homicide. And it doesn't matter what Leslie Nielsen's doing. O.J. Simpson's there.
As Nordberg,
Really, like, doing his best as well.
He is trying, got to give him that. He is trying. He is
trying.
He is really, really trying. But on an estimated budget of $12 million, the movie would gross $152 million. Received rave reviews, great reviews for his performance.
And they are fantastic because I do frequently... where I work, there is a big portrait of the Queen.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I've walked past it and gone, must kill the Queen. And it's a weird thing I think to myself and I'll never say out loud.
Roger Ebert said of the film, you laugh and then you laugh at yourself for laughing.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think, again, I talked about like epic movie and stuff like that. I think they fall down because they don't have the confidence in the jokes. They know the jokes are stupid. Things like this work because they have the confidence and their conviction to look at you and go, no, I am going to make this joke and you are going to laugh at it. And you laugh in spite of yourself. Yeah. And it kind of continues that loop around. It's a really smart way of doing
the
comedy.
amount of times that we watched that and went, oh, for God's sake, I can't believe that got me. And I think it's like such a good feeling to have.
Yeah. It is, because so many other things try to do it and fall so significantly. And I think a lot of it is his performance.
Yeah, so much,
It is how he, Jeremy Strong levels of conviction, like, says these things.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely fantastic. And The first two, I've not seen the third one in forever, but the first two hold up so well. I've recently just rewatched them and they're absolutely fantastic. But yeah, 2 more Naked Gun films would follow. There's Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear from 1991, and The Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult. To promote the movie, Leslie Nielsen would perform a Frank Drebin type role on WWF Monday Night Raw, trying to find The Undertaker, who had gone missing after losing a casket match to Yokozuna at the 1994 Royal Rumble. After this time, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, claimed that he'd brought back The Undertaker. However, Paul Bearer, the manager of The Undertaker, claimed that this was a fake Undertaker and that he had to find the real Undertaker. Which led to a match at SummerSlam, Undertaker versus Undertaker, and Leslie Nielsen would be brought in to try and discover how there could be 2 Undertakers.
Wow. So,
and it's really funny, right? Because completely apropos of nothing, I was watching WWE Evolution, which was the latest pay-per-view that they just had.
yes.
And on the ring, they had a big thing for The Naked Gun, the newest movie.
Yes.
And the person I was with turned around to me and was like, man, they should do a thing where Liam Neeson comes in and tries to like discover a mystery that...
And you're like,
and I was like,
hold the phone.
I was like, I'm really sorry. They've already beaten you to that one, I'm afraid. And he really thought he'd like nailed it with that one. And I was like, no,
I'm so sorry.
I'm
but
so sorry.
You've also provided a bit of context for like Donna family law. Because
This is why I did this.
I knew you were setting me up for this. So a lot of my relatives have this problem where they think that The Undertaker died and was replaced.
Yeah.
A thing that only happened in a wrestling storyline, which might have been this one.
I believe it probably was because it
I
tracked.
cannot believe. So I am not exaggerating. I won't get into the details on it, but I've had actual shouting arguments with family members about this, trying to explain to them that The Undertaker was not replaced by a different man. It's always been Mark Calloway, human man Mark Calloway.
Yeah.
The knowledge that this is because of Leslie Nielsen is sending me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's I watched some of the skits of Leslie Nielsen doing this. And he has no idea what he's talking about.
Just the same way that a lot of our listeners heard that explanation and went, sorry, you said,
two Undertakers? What are you talking about?
Yokozuna?
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw, you're just saying words.
Yeah. But despite all that...
Did they figure out, did he...
Not really. I was trying to find the conclusion, the payoff to it, and I couldn't find anything. So I was like, he just sort of comes out and wanders round the United Center where this event's taking place, and then they never really conclude it.
Remind me for our post-show, I have another idea of one that he could have done.
Yeah. Despite being on Monday Night Raw. At age 67, Leslie Nielsen had become such a successful actor in the late stage of his career. And he had several number 1 movies at the box office. Yeah. He had really found his niche. Which is incredible. Like, at that age, nearly 70 years old.
Is incredible.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. And that's so, like... Oh, it's going to sound really cheesy, but, like, you can do it sometimes. Like,
you absolutely can. He would continue acting in movies basically up until the day he died. He did a lot of parody movies, most of which were not particularly well received. This is when the era of the parody movie was kind of dropping down. Mm-hmm. But he did kind of get a bit of a lease, back in his career, when he would be join the Scary Movie franchise as President Harris, parody of then President George W. Bush.
He's not afraid of fish.
No, absolutely not. Beautiful, thank you very much.
I love that you thank me every time.
But yeah, in 2007, he was asked about retirement, and he says, I'm afraid if I don't keep moving, they're going to catch me.
That's a really good joke. Do you know, he reminds me so much of He reminds me of Bruce Campbell a lot. He has a lot of that just like, I think it's awesome I get to do this, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like, he never becomes jaded or like...
No, absolutely not. But he said, I am starting to value my downtime. It's great. It's a great deal because I'm realizing that there may be other things that I can do and things that I'm overlooking. But yeah, he would just keep acting until he passed away on the 24th of November, 2010. Leslie Nielsen passed away in his sleep from pneumonia at age 84. On his tombstone, it says the words, "Let her rip," which I think is super, super fun. And thank you. Let her rip.
That's what you'd want.
That is exactly what he would want.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
What would you want on your tombstone?
I'd probably still Spike Milligan's bit and say I knew it was more than a calf.
I want mine to say just to say, "Come get it."
Come get it, yeah. But we have a special message here from someone. I don't know what it is. The name's Jared Jones, Officer Lieutenant Jared Jones from the podcast squad. There had been a recent wave of Instagram models wanting podcast producers, paying them millions of dollars to create AI slop on the internet. But instead, I'm here, promoting a Patreon for a podcast that no one listens to. Become an iconic Patreon subscriber by going to www.patreon.com/howtobeanicon, like these iconic listeners, Claire Penn Jones and Casey Lee. You can also follow us on your podcast platform of choice, whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any others. Follow us on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, at How to Be an Icon Pod, and Instagram, How to Be an Icon Pod. So, Donna, what would be your lesson from Leslie Nielsen on How to Be an Icon?
I mentioned it a little bit earlier. You're actually not too old.
Yeah.
For a lot of things. And I know that's so like things your mom posts on Facebook with a bunch of people being like, they were 72 when they first learned to skateboard.
Yeah.
But I do think there are things as you get older that you do sort of, we know people who have given up on themselves and gone, oh, after 30, there's nothing left for me. And you're like, I learned to do handstands at 30. Different, but like, I think you do surprise yourself as you get older and keep looking for those different niches and don't let them catch you.
Yeah.
I think that's such a fun way of looking at it.
Yeah. No, that was going to be mine as well. It's like, it's never too late to find your thing, like you can absolutely just keep going and you never know what it's going to be. I think that's the thing that I would always say about it is, being like 67 and being like a leading man, and
that's so fun.
That is so fun. And just like going against everything, people of the like movie stars of the time, going against what people would say normally. It's just like, oh yeah, just doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
And just finding it, He didn't find it as a serious actor. So
he was able to make that adaptation and using that skill and those knowledge. And I think that is something we will see when we talk about more comedic actors in future.
Yes.
So many of them have these really classic, serious acting backgrounds because I think you kind of have to understand how to do it.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, that is going to do us here today. Thank you very much for listening. Like I say, if you haven't already, please give us a review on your podcast platform of choice, whether it be Spotify, whether it be Apple Podcasts, whether it be Stitcher Radio.
We're also on Audible, we found out.
Oh, yeah, we're on Audible as well.
We didn't know that. We also now own the trademark.
We do. We are...
real businessmen.
Yeah, How to Be an Icon TM. So that's very, very fun.
We're going to buy our skyscraper really, really soon.
Yes.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be on the side of a building. But to do that, you are going to have to sign up for our Patreon. It is currently free, and you'll get access to the post show. We are also, obviously, as you know, the Naked Gun movie is coming out. We'll be doing a nice little review of that audio podcast when that comes out. So look forward to that. But in the meantime, thank you very, very much for listening. We have an episode coming out next week. It's two brothers.
Two brothers who don't like each other.
Who do not like each other. But
email us in who you think it's going to be.
Please do. Thank you very much for listening. And Police Squad's home safe, y'all.
Giggle home safe, everyone.